gotta love it.
You gotta love it. Yes, man.
Come on. To our viewers back at home, welcome to another exciting and special edition. This one is a big one. Yeah, an exciting episode of this brand new episode called
Lead Now.
Come on. I'm even clapping for this one. I said it's special because, man, it's a powerful law. But ladies and gentlemen, this amazing show is all about highlighting all major and significant aspects around the concept of leadership. We have to give a big shout out to Dr. John C. Maxwell for the 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. Without your content, we wouldn't have substance. So a big shout out to Dr. John C. Maxwell and his entire team as well.
You know, I just want to say to Dr. John C. Maxwell, I want to thank you. You know, I first got in contact with your book 18 years ago.
Yes.
And I'm still learning from it.
Come on.
You know, so so much wisdom there.
Yeah.
So if you want to learn about leadership, that's the guy.
There we go. I think Dr. John C. Maxwell, today we're going to do things differently. I'm going to let the man that just gave you a big shout out introduce himself first. How about that?
Okay.
Yeah? Come on, yeah?
Yes, welcome everybody. My name is Anton Venter.
There we go.
And I am joined by
Rendani Chibuda, a.k.a. Randy, your number one MC.
MC.
Come on, I like that.
Beautiful.
I told you today's episode is quite amazing.
Yes.
And I know today is a special one to you as well because this is your favorite law. It's law number 18, the law of sacrifice.
Well, it's not so much my favorite because it's the easiest law, because this is the hardest
This
law.
is the hardest.
This is the one that really touched you. But you know, this is the one that I've seen most in action in life for people who become successful.
Come on.
Yes.
So this is the X factor to success.
That's it.
All right. Let's jump into it straight. Let's talk about the law of sacrifice, Anton.
What the law of sacrifice says is it says you have to give up to go up. Now, in my life, I've experienced that every single time that I had to achieve success. I had to make sacrifices before.
100%.
It's like planting a seed. You know, so when you plant a seed, you put the seed in the ground, the seed dies in the ground. And then after it dies, it starts living. You know, then it creates another plant. That is the thing. So anything, any great thing that you want to do, you have to make sacrifices for it first. When I started the School of Leadership concept regionally in 2005, I was all alone. Right, so for the first 3 years of that program, I sacrificed almost everything I had. I sacrificed my time, everything. So I did all the planning, all the preparation, the shopping, the compiling of programs, getting in money, getting this, getting that, while still teaching by myself. Understand? Now there's an office of about 10 people who are doing what I used to do by myself. But if I didn't do it back then like then I'm telling you that it wouldn't have taken off. You have to be willing to put in the hard work. You have to put in the sacrifice. And even now, you know, as I grew this concept to a new company called the School of Leadership, the same thing had to apply. I had to step out of that situation where I were. I had to make the sacrifice for it to grow. So the law of sacrifice really says that greatness lies on the other side of sacrifice.
Come on.
So I have to go through the sea of sacrifice to become great.
You have to give up to go up. I love that.
Yes.
Now, would you say that sacrifice defines success?
No, but it makes you understand success.
Woo,
and it makes you appreciate success.
Okay.
Okay, so everything in life is relative. Okay, so imagine we had to live in a world where there were no evil. Right? So there were no evil in this world. Then we wouldn't know what good is.
Woo.
Understand?
If
because
there was no winter, we wouldn't appreciate summer.
Exactly. We understand good because evil exists. Okay. We understand richness because poorness exists. And we understand success because failure exists. So what sacrifice does is it makes me understand and appreciate my success. Because if I didn't go through the sacrifice, then success would come easy. And anything that comes easy, I will not appreciate in life.
But now, surely you can be successful without having sacrificed. Let's try and find. I've seen people who don't have to really let go, but man, they maximize and they're growing. And can you?
It is, yes, you can. But let's first of all get to the concept of what is success. Okay, success is not necessarily a lot of money. Okay, so lasting success is really defined for me by the impact you make in people's lives.
Power.
Okay. But let's talk now about success. So let's say you define success to be richness. Then you get a guy who is like the 5th generation lord of a manor. So he's inherited his success. He's inherited his riches. And it's like a generational success. So people who walked before him helped him to become successful. That's basically that legacy that we sit with in this country as a result of apartheid, where white people have an advantage because we were given an advantage. Understand?
Previous advantage.
So you've got a previous advantage versus the previous disadvantage guy who has to fight his way through it. Right. So you start with in the lead, if I can put it that way. Okay. Now, if you were just to maintain that, then you're like a manager. I maintain what I've got, and I can do that successfully. And people will see, this guy's successful because look what he's doing. But actually, all I'm doing is I maintain. But if I want to grow, if I want to improve, I have to make sacrifices. I have to let certain things go and focus on other things for this thing to move.
Come on.
Okay, so in theory, once again, coming back to what we're calling success, what I'm saying is real lasting success in anything will require some form of sacrifice I have to make here to grow towards that. Because if I am here and this is success, and I don't need to do anything to achieve success, then there's something wrong with my definition of
100%,
success.
100%.
Yeah.
I love that. I want to practicalize it.
Yeah.
I want to talk about it from a practical angle.
Yes.
Okay. I'm that garden type of person. In my backyard, I've got apple trees, I've got peach trees and all of that. But I've noticed that, you have to do certain things to get good quality. So would you say sacrifice is more like, pruning a tree?
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
So if you prune, right, you cut off branches.
Yes.
So here you've got the big tree, and now I start cutting. I bring it back to the bare bones.
Yes.
And that is how I maximize my harvest. So if I had to leave the tree, you can go look at it. If you leave a tree and you never cut, you never prune, you never pick the fruits, then eventually that tree stops yielding fruit or good fruit.
Yeah. The quality.
The quality fruit.
The quality is distorted.
But when I prune a tree, when I bring it back to the basics, then it grows from the basics.
Wow. Yeah.
And that is when it actually yields good fruit.
Wow.
So that is how it works in our lives as well. Okay. So in my life, as hurtful as it is, sometimes I have to cut back to get to the core, to get to the things that's really important.
Very important.
For example, when I started this business now, I was working for a school. I had a assured monthly income, right? So very, very stable salary, stable conditions and all that. But I realized this program, if I want to roll it out, that it affects schools across the country or across the world even, I have to leave where I am now.
100%.
I cannot continue at the place where I am. So I had to take the risk, and it was one hell of a risk.
Yeah.
So for me to step out of that safe environment of the safe income each month was a huge risk. It was extremely scary.
Yeah.
But that was the only way how I was going to get the reward.
Yeah.
So the reward had to happen after the sacrifice. So I had to risk everything. I had to start. So luckily I had a safety blanket in terms of my skills that I was able to start something else to keep me going through this period where I'm building this program up.
Yes.
Yeah. But the reality is that I had to make the sacrifice for this thing to grow. Right. So whenever I really want to have success in anything in life, I first have to go through hardship.
Yeah.
That's how growth happens, really.
Yeah.
I mean, you remember when you were on Desert Walk?
Yes.
Right. So on Desert Walk, you go through a tough walk. Yeah. Okay. You have to go through that walk for growth to happen in you. Because if everything was just easy, then you will never achieve maximum growth.
You have to come out of your comfort zone.
Yes.
You see, and your comfort zone is the true test of growth, because you're in a survival mode now, and you're challenging yourself to the next level. It takes me back to around 2006, 2005 when I was playing rugby. And that was a time where you're in the teens, where you can literally go and have fun. We're testing out alcohol, we're doing all these things. Look, I mean, we were young. These are things that young people do. I have to be out there. I have to say it, but
But that doesn't make it right.
It doesn't, but it's happening.
Yeah.
That's the thing. And we can't shy away from those discussions. But I remember having succeeded in provincial rugby, I had a choice. You either go to this party or you're actually going to work out, because you've got a workout plan that's set out. And you're either going to go and have fun with the friends, or you're going to work out, continuously work out. You're either going to go and for a weekend relax, have fun, or you're going to work out.
Well, you don't even need to compare that. And now in the professional environment now, as it is now, there are guys who have professional junior contracts. So they're out of school, they got junior contracts. And some of them are doing the go out. So it's not that the Oaks who don't do that don't necessarily train while these guys are going out to parties.
100%.
But they are making the right choices about their lifestyles. So they're not getting drunk at night. They're busy eating right, they're busy sleeping right, they're preparing themselves, so they relax in different ways. But they're making the right choices. So they are sacrificing that party lifestyle.
Consistency.
Because they want to achieve greatness. And invariably, Randy, the guys who go out there, you don't see them achieve their success, and the Oaks are making these right choices.
100%. That's why I took it back to that. And I had to use that blatant example, because a lot of people, now, the difference with that is they're already successful. They're already in a stage of
They already
success.
got a contract.
They have a contract. There's a bit of safety net for them. What about those entering that space? You see, you have to sacrifice. You have to go beyond what is expected and what is required of you. You have to put it in, even when no one is watching. You really need to dig deep, because to stick out from the rest, you really need to go deeper. And you have to have that X factor. Everyone is on the same playing field. But what's going to make you stick out? You have to go deep. By deep, I mean you have to
put in the extra hours.
And put in the extra hours.
It's classic. You go look at Dan Carter. Nas Botha was actually the first example of that for me. So how it used to work is Nas Botha would be the first guy to arrive at practice, and this was even before the professional days. Then he would practice with the team. Then after everyone goes, he's still out there for an extra hour where he's practicing. So every day he's putting in an extra hour. I call it the power hour. The guys who put in that extra hour are the guys who become successful. So it's over and above. So I have to do X in my career, but the over and above, extra, that's what makes you successful. That sacrifice. You're 100% right.
Mornay Stain. We're speaking rugby because we love rugby, all right?
Classic.
Mornay Stain. Before practice starts, he's there 2 hours kicking for post. Kicking for post. Same as Francois Steiners. Clearly it's a Stein thing, But they're there, and that's why they became world class. Because I've always said this, repetition is the secret to mastery. But you gotta respect that time and sacrifice. Put in the extra hours, dig deep. If you don't let go, you will not grow. And I think that's why this law is quite an important one to the people watching back at home.
But imagine now you're busy climbing a mountain, right? So you are on the hill, you're on the slope, you're busy climbing. Sometimes it happens that you cannot go up anymore. Because what's ahead of you is too difficult now. So sometimes you have to go down a bit and around and then up. So you have to sacrifice altitude sometimes to gain altitude. And that happens. Sometimes you got to make the sacrifice for you to achieve the greatness that you've set out to achieve.
I love what you said. It brought about the importance of vision in this law. You see, what will amplify you and fuel you is when you have a powerful vision. You won't sacrifice if your vision is not clear. The only thing that will amplify you to sacrifice is if your vision is clear. Anton, we're going to get into this one. I think, I understand why it's your favorite, because now it's getting me, all sparked up. But to our viewers back at home, what do we leave them with? What do we leave them with when it comes to the law of sacrifice?
You have to give up to go up. And true success always lies on the other side of sacrifice. So to conclude, when I go speak to schools or students, I often tell them, when you are busy studying, then you are studying so that you can enter a career. So why don't you go out, go to companies and offer your services for free during holiday time? So say, guys, I want to come work for you. I'll work for free. Just so I can gain experience and stuff. You will be surprised how many kids says to me, "What?
For free. Pro
I
bono.
will never do that." So they're not willing to make that sacrifice.
Yeah.
And invariably, that is sometimes what's needed to become truly successful.
I agree.
You know, so in my case, with this company now, I do a lot of stuff for free.
Yeah.
Where I will simply go to a school, go and give them a service without charging them. Why? Because I'm busy building a relationship.
Yes.
I'm busy building their trust.
Yes.
Once they start trusting me, they'll start using me more, and then I can start gaining income out of it. But I have to make the sacrifice.
I love that.
I have to be willing to invest.
Yes.
And the investment will give me the return later on.
Yeah. In this case, sacrifice, the synonym is invest.
Absolutely.
Invest. And to sum it up, as I always say in every episode, I can't sum it up as great as Anton has. But what I will say is, I dare you to watch biographies on successful people.
Yes.
Assess their journey, and you will see at some point before the point of success, they had to let go of something or sacrifice.
Always.
Every successful person goes through that. And that's why it's quite important. And that's why I love this law from now. It's actually now becoming my favorite law. Yeah, I see why. Yeah. And a big shout out once again to Dr. John C. Maxwell for this amazing series, the 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. Once again, fantastic content that will forever be there and will forever empower people. I really enjoyed this episode.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, no. From now on, I'm never, ever, ever going to disrespect time. I'll sacrifice and make sure we're here, all right? To the people watching back at home, once again, you were tuned in to another exciting episode of
Lead Now.
As we wrap it up as usual, you got to love it. You got to love it. Yes, man.
We've hoped you've enjoyed this episode of Lead Now, proudly brought to you by the School of Leadership Africa. Please remember to follow us on our social media. You can find us on Facebook at the School of Leadership and also on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at SoulAfrica_ZA. Thanks for tuning in.